The Texans defense dominates day 4.
I would be so awesome.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Wait a minute. Is it almost 5 o'clock? It may be almost 5 o'clock. What time is it? Sheesh. Okay, I got it. So, hold on for 1 second. Let me get myself together. Okay, let me get myself together, y'all. Okay, let's just go ahead and start this thing off first. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuned into the Texans Happy Hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. Make sure you go to www.hallfamilyestates.com for all your winery needs. Is that a word? I can say that. Winery needs, right? Yeah. They say you can't buy happiness, but you can buy wine, and that's the closest thing to it. All right, what's going on, y'all? Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're following me at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end on Instagram. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you are subscribed to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel. All one word. Texans Tailgate Talk. All one word. Okay. First of all, hey, let me apologize. I had to get dressed. So y'all remember on Friday, I kept talking about, hey, I got a date. What's up, Tate? I got a date. And then a dang on rain just took my just took my date away, man. Hold on, y'all give me a second. Oh, yeah. No, we're not doing that. Here we go. We should sound a little bit different now. All right, we should sound a little bit different now. We don't be sound like that hollow. We ain't hollow. We got this. We got good mic. This is a good microphone right here. We not playing them games. It's studio mic right here. But y'all remember I kept telling y'all, hey man, I got a date, right? And then the rain came, and then I didn't have a date no more. But that's okay, because we have a date night tonight. What's up, J-Rock? What's up, Tay? We got a date night tonight. Actually, it's my wife's youngest daughter's birthday dinner. And I've told you all this before if you know anything about me. We get together as a family for birthdays and, you know, just go to different places. So the dinner starts at 7. I got to be up and out of here no later than 6:15. And so I got to get up out of here. I was trying to start this this happy hour at 4:30, but you know, I did the breaking news with what's up, Showtime 49. I did the breaking news about the news that came out about Joe Mixon, what Ian Rappaport reported, and about Joe Mixon will miss extended time this training camp leading up to almost to the first week of camp. And then I got some more intel that says that it's more of a precautionary thing than it is. What's up, Darius? It's more of a precautionary thing than it is in addition to. Remember, I told y'all I was going to get some more information for you all when I came back for the Texans Happy Hour. I told you I'm going to go and get some information. But Ian Rappaport reported earlier today that Joe Mixon is going to be out an extended amount of time. What's up, Larry? He's going to be out an extended period of time throughout training camp as he deal with his foot injury. And it was confirmed by Jonathan M. Alexander from the Chronicle. And then I got some more information after I got off the live stream earlier. I got some I got some information that says that so Joe Mixon's injury, right? Joe Mixon's injury hasn't gotten worse They're just being more cautious with it. So there, from what I'm being told, there's no need to overreact right now. There's no need to overreact when it comes to his injury. It hasn't gotten worse. He's still going through the protocol of rehabbing and things like that. So it hasn't gotten worse. They're just being extra precautious with it, and precautious with him, and they don't want him to get hurt. I gotta write something down. They don't want him to get hurt anymore, and they want to have him ready for the beginning of the season. So that's a good thing. So you will get a heavy dose of Nick Chubb, Woody Marks. Don't know how long Damian Pierce is going to be out. So he may not, you may not see him for the bulk of training camp. You're going to get a heavy dose of Jawar Jordan. You're going to get a heavy dose of British Brooks. You're going to get a heavy dose of Dare Ugabawale. So come Monday, by Monday, I'll have more answers for you. What I do want to announce, I said this on the happy hour before. Not the happy hour, but on the live stream that I did earlier when I was talking about the Joe Mixon news that had just broke after day 4 of Texans training camp. So I am scheduled to be on KPRC2 News Houston. It's channel 2 for y'all who live in Houston. That's the NBC affiliate. I'm scheduled to be on Sports Sunday night, after the news. So I'm supposed to be on there with Randy McElvoy, Aaron Wilson, and myself, and I think it may be another person. So y'all make sure to tune in and watch. I know we're probably going to start out talking about this injury to Joe Mixon, which is, one of the biggest things that, that took place on Saturday. That news broke. And so I can tell you one thing, though. Let me tell you how it is. CJ Stroud, Nick Caley, that offensive line, Cole Popovich, y'all better be glad that news broke. And we're going to get into that because the defense dominated day 4. But I cannot, and I will not go any further with this Texans happy hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. Go to www.hallfamilyestates.com. Get all your wine needs. They say you can't buy happiness, but you can buy wine, and that's the closest thing to it. Y'all see that right there? Y'all see that thing right there, though? That thing right there. That one. Hold on. That right there. You see that Texans tailgate talk right there? Y'all see that thing right there? A Texans tailgate talk. Texans tailgate talk. Originated, copywritten by none other than yours truly, Big Sarge. Texans tailgate talk. But y'all see that, though? That's what my wife got me today. She came home and she said, look, I got you something. I was like, what? Say what, girlfriend? So, normally you'd see Michael Jordan and all the Jordans because, if you look behind me, I ain't got nothing but J's across the top, and then it's J's over here, J's over there, it's J's everywhere, right? Normally, that's where the Michael Jordan poster would sit with the J's. My wife got me that. That had to be seen. That had to be put right there. Tay, we're going to pray for you. Tay says, I need you to send a prayer up as I embark on this new journey in my career and life. Hey, look, as long as it ain't illegal, bro. As long as it ain't illegal, Tay, I'll pray for you all day, my guy. As long as it ain't illegal. As long as I ain't got to bail you out. Tay, because Tay is the kind of person, right? Tay is the kind of person that just from interacting with him throughout these live streams. Hey Tay, I put some on your books. Tay, it's certain people in here right now. Hey, look, it's certain people on here that I can see, and those that are tuning in anonymously. You know who you are. But Tay, hey Tay, I put some on your books, man. I mean, I'll pray for you, but you gotta tell me that this job, like, they taking like real life taxes out of your paycheck, right? Like, you wait, hold on. You're getting a paycheck from this new journey that you're embarking on, right? I'm just asking. I mean, because I need to know. Because you be wanting me to pray for you, then I pray for you, and then next thing I know, I'll be watching the news. I'll be like, I think I know that person. Hey, I'd be like, well, they do have tariffs everywhere, so he had to find some way to get the stuff. Tay says he's moving up in a diesel technician world. I'm a saint and a man of God. Hey, so was Nino Brown. Nino Brown gave out turkeys. Okay, Tay. My bad. My bad, Tay. I would put some on your books though. Hey, hold on, J-Rock. When you put some on people in jail, when you put some on their books, what is it called? J-Pay? I put some on your J-Pay, man. I put some on your J-Pay, Tay. I got some on your books. Hey, real quickly, before I move on, because we do have to jump into this thing, because I do have I have a hard out today. Handing out turkeys like Nino Brown, baby. Hey, you know how so there's two things that two phrases I use to find out if somebody's like ever been in jail, right? Or they people in jail. If I ask you, if I hit the green dot, if I ask you, hey, where your brother at? And you say, he in Louisiana. And I know y'all from southwest side of Houston and y'all ain't never been out of East Harris County. If going out of town to y'all is Sugarland, or if going out of town to y'all is Galveston, if going to Atascocita is out of town for you, Fresno, Clute, Cut and Shoot, Four Corners, El Campo, Warden. If I know that y'all be saying y'all going out of town to y'all cousin's house, and I be like, where your cousin stay? You say Mo City. Don't lie to me and say your brother in Louisiana. Your brother's in jail. Your brother is in jail. He's in prison. Not just regular jail, because he's been gone for a long time. Your brother's in prison. Don't say your brother's in Louisiana. Just say your brother is an inmate. That's all. Second thing, if you're from Houston and you old school Houston, right? Buddy up the road in Huntsville. If you from Houston and you old school Houston, and I ask you, hey, you know what 1301 Franklin is? And you say yes, and I'd be like, you ever been there before? What is it like? And you just look at me with a blank stare. I know you've been in the county. I know you've been on the 10th floor. I know you've been on the Gladiator floor. 1301 Franklin is the address to the old county jail downtown, because there was an old county jail, and then they built a new county jail. But if I say, have you ever been to 1301 Franklin? And you go, yeah, and I'd be like, what was that like? And you just look at me with a blank stare, and I look at you back, and then you look at me, and then I look at you. Bro, just say, yeah, man, I've been locked up. Be like, was you on the Gladiator floor, though? That 10th floor was the Gladiator floor. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Bel Air the Trey, baby. 10B2? No. No, man. No. Hey, that's real though. Hey, that gladiator flow. Ooh-wee. All right, y'all. Once again, you tuned into the Texas Happy Hour. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Let's go ahead and jump right into this thing. Hey, so listen, everybody's done their recaps, of course, right? I did my recap. It's out on my YouTube page. Make sure you go to Texas Tailgate Talk, all one word, YouTube. The video is up. I recap, a specific thing about today. Two specific things, one about today and one about Monday. So I talked about the defense, and I included what Aziz Al-Shaair said, and we're going to jump into that in just a second. And I included what Kamari Lassiter told me today when I asked him a specific question. And then I talked to head coach D'Amico Ryans about putting on the pads and how much will that change come Monday by putting on the pads, but also establishing the fundamentals without pads on, establishing the fundamentals and without pads on, and then just enhancing that once the pads come on. And he gave me a really good answer. So going over to the YouTube page and subscribe to Texas Tailgate Talk, and then tell me what you think of the video. So, hey, I said earlier, right? I said earlier that there's a couple of people who should be happy that Joe Mixon news broke. There's a couple of Texans players that should be happy that news broke today. Quarterback CJ Stroud, the Texans offensive line, Nick Caley, and Cole Popovich. Now look, it was day 4, right? We're not going to overreact. But like I told you on the earlier live streams today, hey, look, hold on. Side note, wait a minute. Let me take a step over here. Notice I said the second live stream today. That means I already done one. You got to do way more than a recap to catch up with me, my guy, my boy. You got to do a lot in order to be me. So you remember earlier though? Hey, look, hold on. I should have did like on TikTok. Who said that? So, remember I said earlier that we would get into how the defense played, how the defense played on Saturday, and it's only day 4. And once the pads go on Monday, from Monday forward, we'll be able to start getting a little bit more of a true evaluation. And then I told you, and once we get to West Virginia, that entire week is going to leading up to the first preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings. We'll get a chance to. That's when some of that true evaluation is going to come, and I think that I honestly and truly believe that by the time the Houston Texans leave out of West Virginia, and by the time they get that first preseason game under their belt on the offensive side of the ball, I think that you will see them start to establish some of that offensive identity. And what I mean by that offensive identity, I think that by a full 2 weeks in pads, I think that Cole Popovich will be able to see, okay, who he actually wants, into what group he feels comfortable with calling them the starting 5. What he's done, and on yesterday, yes, don't say on yesterday, Sarge, say on Friday, because you never know who's going to be listening to this on what day. And if you say on yesterday and they listen to this on Wednesday, they think you're talking about Tuesday. So do not say that. That's a tip. I've told you all this before. That's a media tip. Don't say yesterday. unless you're talking about, unless the people know that you mean the day prior. And what I mean by the day prior, they know the day prior. So on Friday, not only did we have an opportunity, not only did I have an opportunity to talk to the positions coaches, I also got to talk to, I'm sorry, not only did we get a chance to talk to the position coaches, I got a chance to talk to some other coaches to ask them about that offensive line and that offensive playbook by Nick Caley. And just like I've been saying for the longest, and what they reiterated was, the people that I was talking to, what they reiterated was, as I was talking about Cole Popovich, and they said Cole is one of those. They said Cole is a maniac. First of all, that's what they said. Cole is a maniac. You've heard Nick Caley say that Cole is a maniac as well, but his colleagues hold him in high regard and high esteem, and they know he knows exactly what he's talking about. And he said, so what Cole has been doing from OTAs to minicamp to the 3 days into training camp is he's just looking to see who can establish themselves and what type, how fundamentally sound are these young guys. That's what he wants to see. That. And when the pads come on, now he's looking at the fundamentals and the physicality. The fundamentals, just like what Coach Ryan said on Saturday, the fundamentals set the standards and establish what you're going to do moving forward. And so, with that being said, that Texans offense, and I said this earlier on the earlier live stream, I don't want to jump to conclusions only because it is entirely too early. I don't want to jump to conclusions. I will not jump to conclusions. But what I will say is on Saturday, I seen a lot of similarities on Saturday that I did last season in training camp when it came to the offensive side of the ball, when it came to that offensive line unit. But then, of course, they didn't have Laramie Tunsil for an extended period of time. They didn't have Titus Howard for an extended period of time. They didn't have Shaq Mason for an extended period of time. So you couldn't get a true depiction of what they were going to be. But even with the backups, you just seen a lot. And so Saturday, I'm saying to myself, and you have to take this into consideration too, because I don't want to just dog out the offense. I'm not going to just sit here and dog out the offense after 4 days. You got to take into consideration that they are going up against a top 5 defense. They are going up against a top 5 defense. And that's why when I was asked earlier about Jaden Higgins and they said he's not making any plays, I don't expect him to. I don't expect him to make plays 4 days into training camp. I don't expect him to make plays 4 days into training camp going up against an all-pro cornerback. I don't expect him to make plays going up against Kamari Lassiter. I don't expect him to make the kind of plays that he's going to make if if he can get past those two, and then you got Kalen and you got CJ Gardner-Johnson up top, and they're ball hawks. So they'll bait you into thinking that you're open. They'll bait the quarterback into thinking that you're open, and then they're coming to either take the ball away or bat the ball away. Remember, last season, what did they combine for? They combined for how many interceptions? I got to go and I got to look at it. But when you looked at Kalen Bullock as a rookie, a lot of his mistakes were made on false steps. Now, the physicality part of stopping the run, coming downhill, stopping the run, that's just something that he has to get he has to get used to, because he's still building his NFL body. And as a rookie, he did not have an NFL body. He has a very athletic body. And so you didn't want him to come down. Thanks, Brandon. 8 hold on. Brandon said they combined for 8 interceptions and 21 pass deflections. All right. And so but run support aside, the mistakes that Kalen Bullock made in pass coverage last year is because his rookie year is because he was taking a lot of false steps, something that he probably could have gotten away with in college, but something he learned from. And he'll tell you that. He'll tell you that. I've talked to Kalen on more than one occasion. And he'll tell you, yeah, some of those steps I took when I went back and watched on film, I realized that I took false steps and I shouldn't have taken false steps. So, with that being said, that offensive unit, every day that they line up in team and do team drills, 11 on 11s, ones versus ones, it's like playing against, it's like every snap, you're like, damn, we got to find some way to beat this defense. And if you beat the defense, like I said in an earlier podcast, D'Amico's just going to switch it up. What was that? Oh, today is Saturday. Friday. Was it Thursday? Had to be Thursday because they practice outside Wednesday and Thursday in the bubble on Friday. Thursday, watching practice, 11 on 11. CJ Gardner is in, at his normal depth at the safety position. He's at his normal depth at the safety position. And that's when, when they're in the huddle, when the offense is in the huddle, he's standing at the position. So as they break the huddle and they get ready to come up to the line, you see him slowly creep out. And it looks like he's just widening his stand. I mean, he's widening where he is to adjust to the wide receiver. But as he's widening, he's coming down. So from one side of the ball, it doesn't look like he's moving down. It just looks like he's moving out. But as he's moving out, he's actually coming down. And by the time that the ball was snapped, CJ Gardner-Johnson was right behind Danielle Hunter, coming right off of his hip, blitzing. You couldn't tell it was a blitz from the get-go. But by the time that play took place, he was in the backfield. So that's the type of exotic packages that D'Amico Ryans and Matt Burke have put together. And so, like I said, I don't want to, say that the offense is just struggling after 4 days. But I mean, Saturday, it looked bad, y'all. It looked bad. What's up, Texans on 3? It looked bad, y'all. It looked bad. It looked bad. I cannot sugarcoat it. It looked bad. It was to the point where, like, the defense, let me put it like this. I'm not gonna say who's in front of him. All I'm gonna say is this. Mario Edwards came off the ball one time. And by the time the quarterback got himself established, he was already there. Did that twice. Dylan Horton. Now, mind you, I ain't even talked about Will Anderson Jr. yet. I ain't even talked about Danielle Hunter. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm telling you about Mario Edwards. I'm telling you about Mario Edwards. I'm talking about Dylan Horton. These guys. I ain't even talking about Will. And especially, I can't believe, like, I'm gonna have to talk to, because I know I know the people who do the clips and the social media and all that for the Texans. I'm gonna have to show them that clip that they put out. Y'all seen that clip that they put out where CJ dropped back and threw the ball to Dalton Schultz and he caught it, he was running upfield. And y'all took a good look at that video. In my notes, it's a sack. He would have been sacked. But go back and look at that video. Go to the page and look at that video. And CJ would have been sacked, of course. Or if he wasn't sacked, then Blake Fisher would have got a holding call. Go back and look. Blake Fisher is damn near choking. Hold on, man. Y'all know me. Y'all, yeah, no, we're going to do this thing the right way. We're going to do this thing the right way, Sarge. Hold on. Give me a second. We're going to do this thing the right way. Hold on. Give me a second. I can't do that. So y'all see this, right? Hold on, it's this. So this is the play. Now watch. This is a sack. I thought that was Will. This is Danielle Hunter being choked by Blake Fisher. Choked. CJ barely got the ball in his hands. CJ barely has the ball in his hands. And look where Danielle is. That's a penalty. That is a penalty. That is a penalty. But look at Danielle. And look, CJ ain't even got the ball in his hands good yet. But hey, look, I ain't gonna lie. That's a good maneuvering of CJ getting out of that pocket, though. Hold on, man. Ooh, I ain't gonna even lie, y'all. I like that. CJ getting out of look, this is what you want to see from CJ. Getting out of the pocket. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Hey, hold on, man. This is vintage. This is vintage CJ Stroud. Coleridge, Bernard, Stroud. Look at this. I know. It's just the 4th day of training camp. And look. Look at Coach. Yep. Look at Coach. Look at D'Amico. Just looking. Look how he throws it. It's a great catch by Dalton. Hey, Jake, you're going to have to cover a little bit better. So, yeah. What's up, Red Lobo? Corey B7. What's going on? So, as I digress, right? And let me talk about what I really want to talk about because, like I said, I got to be up out of here by 6:15. So, the defense balled out on Saturday. Balled out. Had 3 interceptions. Aziz had a pick 6, and he should have had another interception. He should have had another interception. I think it was in team drill 4 where he tipped the ball and tipped it up. But he should have had that interception. And he knows that he should have had that interception because when he came to the sideline, he was pissed. Now, I'm not going to tell you what he said because, according to the guidelines, the guidelines for the media, you can't talk about those type of conversations on the side. So I'm not going to tell you what he said. All I'm going to tell you about is his emotions. And he was pissed because he knows that he should have had his second interception. Now you're asking me, why am I talking about Aziz and him having that pick six and him almost having another interception. Remember now, this past offseason, Derek Stingley Jr.'s father has he does a camp called Cover One, right? Well, he has a company called Cover One where he trains defensive backs, and they do one for college, and then they do one for college, and then they do one for the NFL players. And this is an invite only camp, though. You have to be invited. You can't just pop up and be there. Even last year when Aziz, when I asked Aziz about it, Aziz said that him and Henry were training in Hawaii last year when they had the Cover One camp, and he told Stingley's father, Big Sting, that he would be there in Puerto Rico this year because he couldn't just join because it was invite only. But Aziz Al-Shaair went along with Jalen Petrie was there, Kalen Bullock was there, Derek Stingley Jr. was there, Kamari Lassiter was there. I don't know if Jalen Smith was there. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to ask on Monday. Was Jalen Smith at that camp too? I'm gonna ask Derek, was he there? But Aziz, a linebacker was there. Let me pull this up right quick. Y'all give me a second. Nope. Because I want you all to hear this. Okay, Sarge. Where is it? Where is it, my boy? Let me see if I updated. It should be here. Y'all give me a second because I do want you all. Here we go. Hold on. I'm getting it together. I should have had this already queued up for y'all, but here we go. Let's watch this in real time, y'all. And then Kamari Lassiter. Aziz, you went to the Cover One elite camp over in Puerto Rico with Derek Stingley's father, and you were around, not only your teammates but a bunch of other defensive backs. Did you do that intentionally so that you could improve on your pass coverage, or just be able to, team bond or just pick some of their brains?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of both. I think when Sting did it in Hawaii last year, me and Henry were actually just in Hawaii at the same time. For me, and we're training together. And I'm like, man, Sting and them are in the same island as us. They're just on the other side. So I told Sting and his dad when I seen him during the season last year that I want to make sure that I came out there. Because it is, like, I mean, you're talking about obviously one of the best corners in the league now. And then all the other guys over there as well. Just learning from guys who have to cover all day. Just like I learned from the D-line who have to rush all day. And the linebacker have to both. Yeah. So it doesn't hurt to sharpen your tools.
What did it mean to you to see, when you all went over to Puerto Rico for that Cover One elite camp, and it was all those defensive backs, but your middle linebacker showed up so he could work on his pass coverage? What does that mean to you all from a leadership standpoint, seeing Aziz out there with you all?
Man, that means a lot. I mean, but Aziz is great. Like, from the day that I met him, Aziz has been really like one of those. So we're talking about the other dudes talking. Every time you see Aziz, he's giving somebody game. Whenever me and CD first got there, he just talked to us. Gave a lot of different nuances. He's always just trying to pass it along to someone else. In Puerto Rico, it was a chance for us to kind of pass some of the stuff that we know coverage where I want to do. And not saying that he doesn't know our coverage, because obviously he does. He's a very good contractor, but it's just like we sort of against him, and he was able to. The good thing is also this. Yeah, he would be there to sort of against us.
It paid off today, right? So that's what you do, right? And that's what he did. Aziz wanted to be better. Aziz wanted to be better in pass coverage. Listen, we all watched in the divisional round when Travis Kelce just went to work on those linebackers? Went to work on those linebackers, and they said to themselves, hey, we got to do what we need to do. Side note, you just seen Kamari Lassiter, right? Kamari said that he has been working out ever since they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. And he said the only time he took off, the only time he took a break was maybe 2 weeks after that, because they forced him to. They told him, take a break. Don't want to ruin your body. We know you work hard. We know you're going to be ready. The organization made him take a break. But if the organization hadn't made him take a break, he would have continued to just work out, get better, get better, get better, get better. He loves football. And I'm going to put out a clip here. If not today, probably tomorrow, when I had an opportunity to speak with cornerbacks coach Dino Vaso about Kamari, and just listen to what he says and what he says about Kamari's passion. So as I digress, all that training, it is paid off. And I mean, because especially like you think about it, that defense is top 5, but they're also going up against a really good quarterback in CJ Stroud. And so for you to be able to get interceptions or pass deflections off of him, that means something as well. But that defense, like I said, I'm not going to even, get into the offensive line versus the defensive line. I'm not. I just won't. That thing has been talked about ad nauseum, and I don't want to talk about that yet. We'll talk about it once they get these pads on. And like Texans on 3 podcast, they're joining the live stream, and I had an opportunity to catch their live stream on Friday, and great guys over there. It was Killer Cow, Frank Nitty, and Patton, and Dr. Larry Payton joined them. But Dr. Larry Payton joined them, but Patton said something that was really, really good. When it comes to, let me tell y'all something. When it comes to me listening and learning about offensive line play, I honestly and truly don't know 2 better people than Patton and Killer Cow. When I tell you all, like, y'all got to watch the Texans on 3 podcast. Killer Cow and Patton, they will break it down to, and they'll break it down to you like you're in the 4th grade. So what Patton said on the podcast on Friday was, they're going to put the pads on Monday. Don't evaluate them on Monday. Don't evaluate them the next practice. I think he said wait until the 4th practice, and then you'll be able to start getting a true evaluation. And that's the 4th practice with the pads on. Patton said, make sure that you watch. He was telling the viewers and the listeners, make sure you watch. And so I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to talk about the way, like I said, that Azeez played on Saturday, the way that he, had total command of that defense, the way that he got a pick 6. I think Miles Bryant got one. And who's one of the rookies we've been talking about on this show a lot? Like I told you all before, I know, hey, look, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, they're going to be good. And everybody flocks over to the wide receiver position, and rightfully so. Those 2 young men are going to be good. I'm not knocking anybody for doing that. If you're running cool, I'm looking at Jalen Smith and Jalen Reed. Jalen Smith, the cornerback, and Jalen Reed, the safety. I asked Kamari about him. They call him J-Rock. I asked Kamari about him, but Jalen Reed got an interception on Saturday as well. Jalen Reed, safety. out of Penn State, if I'm not mistaken, right? Jalen Reed. Yeah, Ricky out of Penn State. Oh, I didn't know he was from Detroit. Oh, so when they play that preseason game, it's almost like he just going home. It's just like he just going home. Oh, snap. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm starting to look at some things. And I seen Keontae Hamilton today. I was paying attention to him a little bit. We'll get into that next week. I wonder if Ariante Ursery and Jalen Noel ever played against each other in Kansas City. I forgot both of them was from Kansas City. I digress. Jalen Reed got an interception today. So, to make a long story even longer, the defense balled out, right? The defense balled out. And I will say this, if by next Saturday, we're still talking about this, then there's a pattern that has been developed. There's a pattern that has been developed that the Houston Texans offense are going to have to break. They're going to have to find a way to have some type of success against that defense. That defense is strong. And here's the thing. Going up against them every day and learning, if they can find ways by the end of training camp to be able to split the reps with the defense or even beat the defense on certain days, that means going into the season, they're going to be ready. Like the mantra that they use, one of the things that they use to motivate themselves is iron sharpens iron. And if they're able to split the reps or win the reps, because they're not going to go up against a top 5 defense. They're not going to go up against a top 5 defense every week. They're going up against a top 5 defense every day in practice. They're not going to go up against a top 5 defense during the regular season every week. So this should be, so I put it like this. By the time the Houston Texans play the Baltimore Ravens, if they can do what they're supposed to do and what they need to do in training camp, that game will be better than what a lot of people what a lot of people have predicted as far as the early on is concerned. If that offense can find ways to split reps and beat their own defense, win some of those reps against their own defense, by the time it's time to go up against other people's defense, they're going to be already prepared. And so they're going to take their bumps. They're going to take their bruises. They're going to, they're going to learn. Like I said, I'm not trying to give them a pass. I'm not trying to give them an out. Saturday, just like, everybody has said it. That's why I'm not harping on it as much, because you've heard anybody who was in attendance, with a camera phone, they've reported it. There's multiple recaps from today. There's multiple videos out there from today, and that's not something that you need to hear from me. You don't need me to reiterate that. You've already seen it. You've already heard it. There's no need for me to just repeat what someone else has said. I'm telling you different things, and why Aziz played the way he played on Saturday. Why those defensive backs look good. So, they got a day off on Sunday. They come back on Monday. Now, let me say these things before I get ready to get up out of here. Hey, I'm not going to even lie to you. It was so good to see Tank Dell at practice. It was so good to see Tank Dell walk onto that field on Saturday, to see him walking, not needing any assistance, but him walking, to see him walking, I don't think that y'all truly grasp what that means. I don't want you to think about what you've seen in week 16 against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want you to think about how gruesome that injury was. And when you got a chance to see it, I don't want you to look at that. I just want you to think about that young man being carted off the field, and with the injury that he had, you really couldn't tell what was going to happen. You didn't even know if he was going to be able to be able to walk the way that he is right now. But wait a minute, y'all. Stop. Hold on, stop. Brandon, stop. Hey man, stop. And I mean that jokingly. I ain't telling you to stop, but that's hilarious. For sure. For sure. Excuse my language, y'all. Y'all close y'all ears and put my hand over my heart. Hey, y'all already know, for shit show. For sure. But it was just so good to see Tank Dell back out on that field. And to see Andre Johnson, I got pictures that I'm going to put out here soon. To see Andre Johnson, Texans legend, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Pro Football Hall of Famer, Texans legend, Andre Johnson embrace Tank Dell like that. It was genuine. It wasn't for no cameras. It wasn't for the gram. It wasn't for anything else. But hey, man, I am happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you back on this field. I'm happy just to see that you're in good spirits. That's why I asked Kyle and Hannah about Tank Dell. I'll put that out later on too. But that's why I asked them about Tank Dell, because just having his energy back on the field, just having him back out there is one of those things where you're just like, wow, man, you know, it's, if you're not rooting for Tank Dell to come back and play, I don't know what type of person you are. If you're not rooting for Tank Dell to be able to get back on the field and continue his NFL career, I don't know. I can't tell you you're wrong, because I can't tell you how to act. I can't tell you how to be, but I am going to look at you funny. I am going to look at you funny. Another thing that I learned, hey, y'all know that the Texans have upgraded inside of NRG? Y'all know that the inside of NRG has been upgraded. I guess all it took was the McNair's telling the city of Houston. Who owns that? The Harris County? Who owns NRG? Harris County something? This would be the time that I would call my wife and ask her, because she's way smarter than me. But our daughter's in there as well, and I know that they're bonding probably over some probably watching Dateline or somebody. They're in there probably trying to solve a watch this. Hey, Chrissy, can you come in for a second? Watch this, y'all. Watch this. This is why you tune into the Texans Happy Hour. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hey, two things. Who owns NRG? Harris County Sports Authority, right? And two, hey, so what crime were you and Maylee in there trying to solve? Oh, who the Blue Jays playing? Hey, that's a good game. Is Miles Straw in the game? Dang it. Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. I really watched the Blue Jays because I like George Springer, and they got my guy Miles Straw on there. Miles Straw. So, as I digress, they've upgraded. I think they upgraded the screens. They upgraded the sound. Hannah said that they did something else. They got some upgrades up in there. So for y'all should have a good fan experience. It should be really good up in there. All right. Let me get in here. Pictures online of everyone there. Let me get into some of these comments before I get up out of here. Y'all know how we do it. I got to make sure that I y'all know how we interact in here. What they handing out turkeys like Nino Brown. Yep, J Pay. Couldn't shoot. But EJ, what's up, EJ? What's up, Sarge? How does Ian Rappaport always get information before everybody else? Okay, hold on before I answer that. EJ, because I'm just now going back through the comments. If you're still in here, let me know that you're still in here so I can answer this for you. Let me see. Darius says in Memphis, 201 Polar is our club, but it's really the jailhouse. 201 Popular. Yep, the ramp up period, J Rock. Hey, are you still here? So I can't pronounce that first one. I don't want to butcher it. I just say 171. Are you still in here? Because I told you when we come back for the happy hour, I would I addressed about the Jaden Higgins. I hope that you were able to hear that. So from everything I'm hearing, it sounds like the offense can't move the ball. They can't. They're just call a spade a spade. They can't. They've won some pass plays. Don't get me wrong. They've won some pass plays, but that run offense is what really needs help right now. Darius said the defense just great, so I'm not tripping right now. I get that. Yep. Brandon says if the offense is looking more like a Ram style offense, then our defense is practicing against more Ram style plays before facing them the first game. Maybe something to take into account. I don't know though, Brandon. I don't know, because D'Amico specifically told me that this offense ain't copy and paste. It ain't the Patriots offense. It ain't the Rams offense. That this offense is catered and built towards for the success of the Houston Texans. So a Rams style offense, if it's like a similar, then I get it. But he said it ain't copy and paste. Fisher learned that move from Jawan Taylor. Wouldn't get called versus the Chiefs. What Corey B say? Dave Fogle gonna be good on defense. Always move faster than the offense. Yeah. Matt says the offense looks weak. Feels like last year. It is early. Like I say, I don't want to. If I had to give it a percentage, I would give it like a 7%. It's like out of 100, it's just like 7% of what it looks like last year. It's still early. If you hear me talking about the offense still losing, and while we're in West Virginia, then you got to start worrying. All right. Hold on. They need to say something about the streets around there more than the sound. You want them to fix the streets? I got it. I definitely understand. All right, y'all, I got to get ready to get up out of here because I got to go to this dinner. The Houston Texans will have, what's up, Ashy Knuckles? How you going to come in here an hour late? You on CP time, Ashy Knuckles? Yeah, you missed. Yes, you missed the whole show, but the good thing is it's going to be on YouTube. So if you get a chance and opportunity, please go back and watch and like, subscribe, share. I would definitely appreciate it. Man, last second. And so the Houston Texans will be off on Sunday, and then they will ramp back up again on Monday with the pads. and they will. The fans will be in attendance. I think the fans will be in attendance Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They got an off day Thursday. So they're off Sunday and they're off Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. That's 5 days. That's a total of 6, including today. And then after that, they're headed to, I think they're headed to West Virginia, Minnesota, come back here. I think they may have one more open practice when they do the joint practice against the Carolina Panthers. Sheesh. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all give me 1 second. Because I don't want to be wrong. Let me tell y'all. Let me go back and find this schedule. Is that too far? Where is this schedule, Sarge? Sarge. Here we go. So yeah. So they travel to Greenbrier on Saturday. So after the open practice, then they travel to Greenbrier. They're off on that Sunday. Practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Travel to Minnesota. Game is Saturday. They are off on Sunday. Then they practice. Yeah. So they got 5 open practices this week. Well, I'm sorry, next week. 5 open practices next week. And then they won't have another open practice until August 14th. That's the joint practice with the Panthers. And then they play Carolina. No, they had a joint practice Thursday, off that Friday, game, off, practice, off. Then they go to Detroit on Wednesday. I will be in Detroit as well. They have a joint practice on Thursday with the Lions. I will be in attendance. And then off day game, off day practice, and then the season finale. And then we'll wrap into it. Now, what's the only practice you got, J-Rock? What's the only practice you got? J-Rock, you located in Houston? Let me know. Word of advice: if you got tile in your house and you got the means, get that seal. Exactly. J-Rock, you in Houston? Because if you're in Houston, man, let's see if we can get you out to more than one practice, man. Let me work my magic and see if I can't get you out to more than one practice. But so yeah, 6 more open practices left, and after that, nope, and nope. I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna take a drink of this Celsius, finish this water, get myself together. Oh, you're in Nashville. Hey, well, I'm gonna have to link up with you when I come out there for the Titans game. Then, man, I had to bring you one of the water bottles out there. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it though, J-Rock. I'm gonna bring you the water bottle, but I promise you, I was about to be petty. I promise you. And as a believer, I was convicted, and my God told me, do it if you want to and watch what happens. Go ahead, act a fool. Boy, I done brought you entirely too far. Okay, Darius, I hope to see you when you come from Memphis. Let me know. God told me I done brought you entirely too far for you to be acting a fool and going back and forth with people you ain't got to go back and forth with. So you go ahead and be petty. And I promise you, as soon as those words come out of your lips, I'm going to smack you right upside the head. And then watch what happens. So I'm not going to be petty. I'm going to be obedient. You've been tuned into the Texas Happy Hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. Go to www.hallfamilyestates.com for all your winery needs. They say you can't buy happiness, but you can buy wine, and that's the closest thing to it. I am about to go have dinner with my wife, her daughter, and my lovely father-in-law. I love getting on his nerves, but he like getting on my nerves too. Hey, I ain't gonna even lie. Hold on. I gotta do this one more time, fucker. Hey, Chrissy, will you oblige me with your presence one more time, please? Y'all give me a second. I'm about to get up off this thing. Hold on for a second. Call my wife in here. Chrissy, step in here just to the side. See if you can see my screen. You can see my screen? Look at how. Look. You see how it sticks out even when I shrink the screen? You can still see it. Good job. Yay. I almost said something crazy. She'd have kicked my ass. So Texans are off on Sunday. I got to get out of here. The Texans are off on Sunday. I will be back on Sunday. Oh, y'all thought this was a game? The black hat is back. The black hat is back. We are back in football season. Mr. Consistency is back. The black hat is back. Oh, yeah. You got 2 shows today. Hell, ain't no telling how many you're going to get on Sunday. You may get 3 shows on Sunday. Who knows? If I ain't told y'all nothing else, what have I told y'all? I can create content. I can give you 3 different shows. I got some stuff I want to talk about right here. 2 things that I want to talk about right here, right now. That I can cut this thing off and we can start over a whole new show. And then we're going to talk about how can Nick Caley orchestrate this offense to help CJ destroy over the top help. How to destroy 2 high safeties. How can Brevin Jordan, Dalton Schultz, Cade Stover, how can they be a integral part in helping CJ Stroud move them 2 safeties so that Nico and Christian Kirk and Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel can operate and work? The percentage has been high. I'm not going to get into the percentage, and I'm not going to get into that because we're all going to talk about that in full detail. But it's right here. Nick Caley's going to have to design something because once CJ can master the 2 high safety defense, oh, hell. It's over for the rest of the league. You've been tuned into the Texas Happy Hour. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you are subscribed to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel. All one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Because hold on, let me see. There is not too many seasoned credential media members giving you this type of content for the fair. For now. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Big Sarge.